I do admit that I did have alcohol, but I was peer pressured. I was trying not to at first, but just to fit in, I fit in.
And let me just tell you what's going to happen in prison. It would be nice if you go to prison, everybody leaves you alone. You're just doing your time, but people are not going to be leaving you alone. You're young, you know? And I'm telling you truth. You're going to be sold for a pack of cigarettes or some extra dessert. That's what happens at the prison sometime. Court is calling 2024 CR 1943, State of Texas versus Isaac Chavez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Doug Campbell for the defense, ready.
And are you Isaac Chavez?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Isaac Chavez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2024 CR 1943 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 2, 4 to 200 grams on April 15, 2024 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
On or about the 22nd day of June 2024 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Isaac Chavez committed the offense of evading arrest or detention of the vehicle in violation of condition number 1. Your Honor, do you want me to read all of these and then allow Mr. Chavez to give his plea in
All right.
total or each one individually?
All right. Let me ask Mr. Chavez, with regards to the alleged violations of conditions, there's a violation of condition number 1, 2, 8A, 14C, 14Z, and number 34. Are you pleading true or not true to those allegations?
Not true.
To all of the allegations within the motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then the defendant is pleading true to violations 1, 2, 8A, 14C, 14Z, and 34. All right, state, do you have witnesses?
Yes, Your
All right, state, you can call your first witness.
Honor. Equals Angeline Nicholas.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Angeline Nicholas.
All right, state.
Ms. Nicholas, how are you currently employed?
With Bear County Adult Probation.
And what do you do with Bear County Adult Probation?
Supervise cases.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear.
Sorry. I supervise cases, make sure that they're following the conditions.
There is a microphone in front of you. If you would put it up to the microphone so the reporter can hear you.
Sorry.
Do you supervise a person named Isaac Chavez?
I do.
Is that Isaac Chavez with Bear SID 1158016?
What was the so?
1158016?
Yes,
And do you see that Isaac Chavez in the court today?
I do. Yes, right, yes.
Could you point him out so the court by an article of clothing?
Gray dress shirt,
Thank you. When did Mr. Chavez begin his supervision?
April 15th, 2024.
Now, on June 22nd of 2024, did Mr. Chavez make an admission to you regarding his use of alcohol?
On June 24th of 2024, that's when I met with him, but he did admit that it happened on June 22nd, yes.
And when you say it happened, you mean that he consumed alcohol?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Chavez had a number of conditions of his supervision. Among them was to complete one AA meeting per day for 60 days.
Yes.
According to your supervision of Mr. Chavez, how many AA meetings per day did he complete?
It was more so one per week.
And how many in total?
8.
Did Mr. Chavez provide proof of employment or SSI within 30 days of his release?
No,
Has he provided any proof of employment?
no,
Did he, did he register for or attend a drug offender education program?
no verification has been provided.
Now, did you give him a referral for a drug offender education program?
Yes,
Did he provide any documentation that he registered for it or attended?
no,
Did Mr. Chavez at any point provide proof of residence?
no,
Passage, Mr. Honor.
Defense?
Ms. Nicholas, were you aware that Chavez was living at 8603 Cape Valley?
yes, he let me know that he was living there.
What more proof would you need than his word if he was living with a parent or somebody else?
You said what more than his word?
Mhm.
Usually, if they're living with parents, the parents need to write a letter stating that he's living there with a proof of one of their bills.
Did you tell him that?
I don't recall.
Did you ever go out there to see if there was any proof that he was living there?
No,
With respect to the once per day for 60-day Alcoholics Anonymous classes, are you sure he was aware of that?
yes,
How are you aware, sure he's aware of that?
his conditions were read to him in court, actually, by the CLO.
And at the time he went on probation, he was 19 years old.
I believe so.
Have you ever, in your dealings with Mr. Chavez, had the thought that perhaps he might be a little bit immature?
I mean, yes.
And as a result, do you think that maybe he didn't fully comprehend what was being told to him?
I wouldn't say didn't fully comprehend what was being told. It's just maybe more so of kind of just taking his time with it. I mean, I'm sure he fully comprehended what was needing to be done.
As a now 20-year-old, he probably has a little bit more sense of urgency on needing to get these done, especially since we're here in court, right?
Yes.
Were you aware that he was working at Willie's?
Yes.
And you say he never gave you proof. What steps did you take to try to verify that he's working at Willie's?
We normally ask for proof of employment.
Did you discuss that with him?
Discussed it, yes. I didn't document it though, if I'm being honest.
Did you tell him, hey, when you really need proof?
I didn't make it an urgency thing, to be
Okay.
honest with you.
And then with respect to his drug offender class, having dealt with 20-year-olds before, and certainly somebody who lives with a parent at 20,
Mhm.
do you think maybe he was waiting for you to do something? No, he was. You think he was fully aware that he needed to
Yeah.
take that extra step and set up the class himself?
Yes, because we provide the verification, let them know like, hey, go through the list, figure out where you're gonna go and register. That responsibility is totally on him.
And you say that Isaac had admitted to using alcohol as a 20-year-old to you.
Mhm.
Do you think he benefits from perhaps some additional classes on the dangers of alcohol and drugs?
Yes,
Do you think, now there was a report written for the court, right?
yes,
Did you write that report?
most of it.
Most of it? Do you agree with the recommendation for this particular person?
No, not necessarily. For the younger probationers, I tend to be a little bit more compassionate, give chances, hope that they'll learn better. So I wouldn't say no.
Do you think Isaac should have another chance at trying to be successful on his community supervision?
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
Like I said, I just try to give a little bit more compassion to the younger ones because they're a little more respectfully hard-headed, and it takes them a little more tries to get it right.
That's especially true with male defendants or
I would say
clients, I
all of
guess.
the younger ones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't specifically say no, all of the younger ones.
Okay. Do you think he can be successful now that he knows how serious this is?
Yes,
Why do you believe that?
this, I mean, this is his second MTR, I believe, but I think at this point, you know, we know to be serious.
All right, it's his first MTR.
First, in this case.
In this case, yes, sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Any other questions?
Yes, officer, do you have a copy of the court summary in your hand?
Yes.
Can you please turn to page 3?
Yes.
Underneath the field marked justification, there is a signature line that says community supervision officer. Is your signature above that line?
Yes.
Would you please read the recommendation that is above that signature line?
It says revoke, no offenses and non-compliance.
And below that is justification. Would you please read the justification?
The probationer bonded out of, the probationer bonded out on new offenses. And he has not reported to probation since bonding out. The probationer has not shown a valid effort to comply.
As part of your duties, is it your responsibility to proactively investigate the information that a probationer is required to produce to you?
Yes.
Yes. So, for instance, if a probationer is required to produce proof of employment, are you obligated to go out to his potential employer and get proof yourself, or is he responsible for providing it to you?
Oh, he's responsible for providing it. We don't go out to the employers. I could always ask the field team to do that. But they're responsible for providing verification.
And for proof of residence, it's the probationer's responsibility to provide that proof to you, correct?
Yes.
And for proof of attendance at Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, it's the probationer's responsibility to provide that proof to you, right?
Correct.
Same for registration and attendance at a drug offender education program. It's their responsibility to provide proof, not yours, right?
Correct.
So, on or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez provide proof of residence as required in condition 8A?
No.
On or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez provide verification of Alcoholics Anonymous meetings as directed by the court, as required by condition number 14C?
No, those are, no.
On or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez provide proof of registration for or attendance of a drug offender education program as required by condition number 14Z?
No.
On or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez show proof of employment or SSI within 30 days of release as required by condition number 34?
No.
Is Mr. Chavez prohibited from consuming alcohol under the terms of his supervision?
Yes.
Is that under condition number 2?
Yes.
Did Isaac Chavez admit to consuming alcoholic beverages to you?
Yes.
Did he admit that he consumed alcohol on or about the 22nd day of June 2024?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Oh, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. State, call your next witness.
He calls Officer Ramos.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I recently got married, so technically my name is Brianna Gonzalez.
I
So-
object.
Yeah, so
All
I
right,
know my name still says I just got married on the 9th, so
all right, congratulations.
thank you.
All right, state.
How are you currently employed?
I'm employed as a police officer with the Leon Valley Police Department
And how long have you been employed with the Leon Valley Police Department?
since March of this year.
And what is your current assignment?
I'm a patrol officer for the city of Leon Valley.
On June 22nd, 2024, what was your assignment?
Just regular patrol duties as a patrol officer.
And are you assigned to night or day?
At that time, I was assigned to days.
On June 22nd, 2024, at approximately 7 a.m., were you dispatched to a particular incident?
I was dispatched to, what I believe was a welfare check, what it came up as on the CAD system, to go check on, or, I'm sorry, that was your question, yes.
Yes. And the location to which you were dispatched, that was in Bear County?
Yes,
And when you arrived at the dispatch location, what did you do?
I observed a car, on Huebner Road, just on the street. The light was green, but the car was parked, or it seemed to be parked. I don't know if the driver's foot was on the brake or if it was in park, but they were stalled in the middle of the road as if they were parked.
And can you briefly describe this vehicle?
The vehicle was a Lexus, four-door vehicle.
Do you remember what color it was?
I don't, I know it's on my report. I put it down. Was I supposed to have that with me? Sorry.
That's okay. So upon seeing this vehicle, what did you do?
Well, because of the notes in the system, I activated my red and blue lights and I got behind the vehicle to initiate a traffic stop.
Did you get out of the vehicle, out of your vehicle?
I did not get out of my vehicle at that time, no.
And what reaction, if any, did the operator of that Lexus have to you activating your patrol vehicle's emergency overhead lights?
Initially, the operator of that vehicle did nothing. When my partner got out of the car, along with another officer that also pulled up to that traffic stop, they both got out of the car. I was about to get out of the car, but then the vehicle suddenly drove forward and it stopped in the middle of the intersection of Huebner and Bandera Road.
What happened next?
What happened after that is we all got back in our vehicles. We both got closer to the vehicle. Then we tried to get out again. I stayed in my car at that point. I didn't get out. And again, the two officers, the one in my vehicle and the other officer, got out to try to make contact with that person again, and that vehicle fled and evaded. So at that point, I told dispatch that I had a vehicle evading arrest.
And at that point, what did you do?
At that point, dispatch asked if I was in pursuit. I said no. So I was still behind the stopping point for that road. So I abided traffic laws and I waited for that light to turn green. That way I could turn.
Now, a short while later, did another officer communicate to you that they had detained the vehicle?
It wasn't communicated, it was observed. Because I could see it. It wasn't very far at all.
Okay. Was this vehicle the same vehicle that you earlier observed and that sped away from you?
Yes.
What did you do upon relocating?
Upon relocating to that vehicle.
Yes.
Oh, well, again, my lights were already off. So all I did was, as soon as the light turned green, I turned left onto Bandera Road and I got next to because my other officer, he had initiated a second traffic stop. He initiated his red and blue lights again on the same vehicle, and I stopped with that officer to try to initiate contact again.
And did you initiate contact with the operator of the vehicle?
Yes, eventually, because again, the other officer made that second traffic stop technically, and then we took him into custody at that point.
Did you identify the operator of that vehicle?
Yes,
How did you identify?
we asked him for his name eventually.
And what did he say?
He said his name was Isaac Chavez.
Did he provide a state issued ID of any kind?
I don't recall.
Did he give you a date of birth?
He had to have, yes.
Let's not operate on your assumptions.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Do you see the operator of that vehicle in court today?
Yes, I do.
Would you please point him out to the court by an article of clothing?
He's in black pants and a gray dress shirt.
Now, after you detained him and began to interact with him, what observations, if any, did you make?
He appeared to be intoxicated.
Did you observe the odor of alcohol emitting from his breath?
Yes.
Did he admit to consuming alcohol?
Yes.
How much alcohol did he claim that he had consumed?
Initially, he claimed that he only had one drink, but upon further questioning, I asked him, okay, what did you drink? And he said he drank Modelo and Smirnoff, so it didn't make any sense.
Did you make any other observations about his physical appearance?
Yes,
What observations were those?
he appeared to have, urinated on himself.
Is that the only other observation that you made about his physical appearance?
Other than his glossy red eyes, he appeared to have soiled himself and the odor of alcohol on his breath. And that was about it.
Did you ask Mr. Chavez to submit to standard group sobriety tests?
Yes.
And what was his response?
His response was he wanted to speak to a supervisor first.
Did you call the supervisor?
I did.
And did that supervisor appear?
Yes.
Did that supervisor speak with Mr. Chavez?
Yes.
And after speaking with that supervisor, did Mr. Chavez submit to standard group sobriety tests?
No, he refused.
At that point, what did you do?
We formally told him he was under arrest, for evading and DWI. And, we read him his rights. And, from there, we transported him back to our police department.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
Officer, would you agree with me that all things in life are a matter of perspective?
Not all things.
How can you be sure that Mr. Chavez saw the lights when you were behind him?
How can I be sure?
Mhm.
I mean, he's not legally blind as far as I know, so they're really hard to miss, so I can't be sure, but any reasonable person, even intoxicated, could have seen those lights.
And he pulled over immediately when the other car stopped him, right?
Well, he was actually already stopped at the red light, so he didn't technically pull over, but he didn't make any further attempts to flee at that point.
Right, and I guess that's my point. If he was just, based on what you're saying, he was asleep in the intersection, right? If he's just waking up, we're not sure he even knew you were there, right?
His eyes were open when I saw him.
Did he recognize you? Can you say that he recognized you?
I could say that he could have recognized a police officer in a police car with their lights on, yes.
Should have, but there's a chance that he didn't, right?
I'm sure, yes, there's a chance.
And during your interactions with Isaac, was he cooperative for the most part?
For the most part, yes.
And he courteous
For the most part, yes.
and compliant? Once he was stopped, right?
Completely compliant, but the other questions.
And you don't know what his blood alcohol level was because you don't have the labs back yet, do you?
Well, he didn't consent to blood, actually. He initially did and then didn't. But he had a blood draw, so no, I don't know what those results are.
So you can't say with certainty that he was intoxicated.
No, I can't.
Thank you, I'll pass.
When you spoke with Mr. Chavez, did he slur his words?
Yes.
Did he stutter?
Stuttering, I don't recall, but slurring, yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State, any other witnesses?
That's all, Your Honor.
Defense?
I'll call Isaac Chavez.
All right, Isaac Chavez. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Isaac Chavez.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Isaac, we've already identified you as the same guy who's on deferred adjudication for possession case, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the court what was going on June 22nd this year?
The day I was
Yeah.
stopped. Oh yes, I was at a friend's house. It was just supposed to be a normal hangout, but he ended up inviting other friends. I do admit that I did have alcohol, but I was peer pressured. I was trying not to at first, but just to fit in, I fed in.
Now, just to be clear, you're 20 years old, right?
19 at the time.
19, okay. And despite all of that, you understand that it's illegal for you to drink alcohol when you're under 21 in the state of Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
And despite all of that, you told your probation officer that you were drinking, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you see the police officer who was behind you in the intersection over in Leon Valley?
Not the person.
If you did, what would have happened?
I would have pulled over immediately.
And that you didn't try to run off when the second officer stopped you, right?
No.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I told you I needed you to think about this. Why do you think the court should continue you on deferred adjudication?
Truthfully, it's just I do acknowledge that I made a mistake. I acknowledge that I was irresponsible. But truthfully, for the past 3 years, I've been completely sober. I've been working honest jobs, helping with my family, my grandfather. Honestly, I was on the straight road. I was doing everything right. I don't believe.
Let's focus on some of the other violations that they've alleged. You've already told the judge that you admitted to drinking, that you did drink. Why didn't you ever provide any proof of where you were living to your probation officer?
I didn't necessarily know how. I told her where I lived and I had my ID. I didn't really know what more proof was needed.
And the 8603 Cape Valley address is on your ID?
Yes,
And they looked at that every time you went in, right?
yes,
So you felt like you complied there.
yes.
There's another allegation that you failed to go to Alcoholics Anonymous every day for 60 days. Did you understand that that was one of the requirements of your community supervision?
I did.
Why didn't you go every day?
I did actually go every day. I have the proof in my cell phone. I have the email sent to my probation officer. I have about 56 of them of every day that I went.
So do you take issue with the fact that she only testified that you went once a week?
I do, yes.
What did you learn, if anything, at the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings?
So let me just stop you. Where is the proof of this?
Judge, I don't have it. It's in his cell phone. I can't. I'm
Oh,
not
where's the
gonna-
cell phone? Did anybody look through his cell phone?
I did not, because I asked him to print them.
All right, you all want to step back and state, you can look through his cell phone and see if there's actually documentation that he did it, and I'm sure if he did it and it's proof there, maybe the state will waive the,
Well, it's just one, Judge. I got other ones I still got to address.
I know, but step back, let's see if he actually did that. All right.
Judge, we've had an opportunity to talk.
Mhm.
We've got an opportunity to talk about your two options.
Mhm.
And I think my client would like to take the local ISF,
Okay.
if that's an option.
All right, we're back on the record and cause number 2024 CR 1943, State Waive 14C without objection. Court is finding violations of condition number 2, the consumption of alcohol true. 14C, state waived it. 34, the court will find true. 14Z, the court will find true. 8A, the court will find true. Number 1, evading arrest or detention, the court will find true. Number 1, driving while intoxicated, the court will find not true. All right, probation, my understanding in this case, you're not recommending revocation? Oh, I'm sorry, they are recommending revocation. All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions to include probation. Since I'm denying the motion, do you recommend local ISF or state ISF? Because it appears we have alcohol issues as well.
Judge, so I did speak to defense counsel and I talked about ISF that is just going to address cognitive. However, if you do send him to state ISF, that you could order him to be substance abuse cognitive track.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's differences in the wait time in custody for both facilities. So that is something I think defense was going to address.
Well,
somehow.
Sometimes that's punishment.
Fair enough.
All right. So it's gonna be state ISF. And there's to be partial GPS for employment only upon release. And I'll ask that GPS fees be waived. Probation, is there anything else?
Judge, is that going to be through the jail?
Yes.
Thank you. I think that'll be it.
All right, all other conditions will remain.
Oh, Judge, I'm sorry. Is that substance abuse cognitive trial?
Yes. All right, anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, we can go off the record. You had better start doing better. Otherwise, you're going to prison. And let me just tell you what's going to happen in prison. It would be nice if you go to prison, everybody leaves you alone. You're just doing your time, but people are not going to be leaving you alone. You're young, you know? And I'm telling you truth. You're going to be sold for a pack of cigarettes or some extra dessert. That's what happens at the prison sometime. And this persona that you're giving me now, that's not going to help you at the prison. And maybe people will start fighting with you. Maybe sometimes somebody at the prison be like, I don't feel like fighting with him today. They may say, yeah, I feel like fighting with him today. And that's what you're going to be doing. And the fact that you're young and you're doing dumb stuff is not going to help you at the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.